Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to Desire of Ages series. We continue Desire of Ages 62, paragraph 5. The last one we saw, the last episode we saw Herod asking the wise men to let them know when they found the Christ so that he could go worship. But of course, we saw that was an error. He didn't want that. He was more jealous than anything else. And then we see also the priests and the elders disregarded the news that came forth with regards to Jesus's birth. They thought it was unworthy of their notice, basically. So we continue. Now pride and envy enclosed the door against the light. If the reports brought by the shepherds and the wise men were credited, they would place the priests and rabbis in a most unenviable position, disproving their claim to the exponents of the truth of God. These learned teachers would not stoop to be instructed by those whom they termed heathen. It could not be, they said, that God had passed them by to communicate with the ignorant shepherds or the uncircumcised Gentiles. They determined to show their contempt of the reports that were exciting King Herod and all of Jerusalem. They could not even go to Bethlehem to see whether these things were so, and they led the people to regard the interest in Jesus as a fanatical excitement. Here began the rejection of Christ by the priests and rabbis. From this point, their pride and stubbornness grew into a settled hatred of the Savior. While God was opening the door to the Gentiles, the Jewish leaders were closing the door upon themselves. The wise men departed alone from Jerusalem. The shadow of night were falling as they left the gates, but to their great joy they again saw the star and were directed to Bethlehem. They had received no much intimation of the lowly estate of Jesus as given to the shepherds. After the long journey, they had been disappointed by the indifference of the Jewish leaders, and had left Jerusalem less confident than when they entered the city. At Bethlehem, they found no royal guard stationed to protect the newborn king. None of the world's honored men were in attendance. Jesus was cradled in a manger. His parents, uneducated peasants, were his only guardians. Only this be he of whom it was written that he should rise up the tribes of Jacob and restore the perverse of Israel, that he should be a light to the Gentiles and for salvation unto the end of the earth. Isaiah 49:6. So, brothers and sisters, you can see the wise men are sort of in a position where they're like, what is really happening? Why are the Jewish leaders as such with this matter? See you on the next one.